So let's get back to today's tutorial. So as you can see, I have already brought my sketch for this illustration that I will use as a guide. Okay, so first of all select your sketch and go to object, come down to log and log selection. You can do this with Ctrl 2 also. Okay, sometimes people ask me, why do I require a sketch? Can I do it without a sketch? Of course I can do it without a sketch, but the proportions are sometimes smaller or bigger and they need to be readjusted, and that readjustment also requires some time, and it prolongs the duration of the video and it gets boring. To cut that time, a sketch is much more better. Of course, if you are not recording a video, then you can adjust it manually. So let's get started with it. We will zoom in a little. First of all, as you always know, let's make the basic shape. Okay, you can make it with basic shapes or you can do it with a pen tool. It does not matter. Turn off its fill. I'm going to turn on its stroke color and change its color to something pinkish. For the outline, it's much more obvious. Okay, it does not have to be very accurate according to your sketch, but still it has to be somewhere there. Front wall of the second room. You can use the pen tool to draw a few places also. As long as you are good and you have practiced. As you guys might see that my basic shape of or the outline is a little bit off, but it does not matter that much. Okay, once your basic shape is done, we can use this now for coloring and now making the rest of the illustration. We do not need the sketch anymore. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to layers and turn off the sketch visibility. Now we can work with this. Okay, now we can, after the basic shape is complete, we can apply the basic colors. The detail will come later. Select more than one object at the same time. Hold the shift key and click with the left mouse button like so. And I'm going to select the eyedropper tool. If you already not know, it's used for coloring and picking colors. Okay, Some of these objects needs to be brought forward and sent back. We will do that in just a little while. First of all, let's apply the basic colors. You can see I've gone through it quite quickly. Now it's time to apply the colors of the windows. Actually, this window needs to be a little bit darker. Now I'm going to select and make the stroke of all these shapes about 2 points. Select these other shapes also and get them appropriate colors. Okay, once that's done, now let's send few of these shapes to the back. You can do this by right clicking, going to arrange, send to the back. Everything seems to be perfect. Just need to bring this one shape forward like so. So everything is looking good as far as the basic coloring is done. So the basic coloring is done. Now we need to add the details of the shape. I'm going to make windows curtains. I'm going to be going over some of these shapes a little bit quickly, but you can take your time and do it with finely and make it more beautiful than me. I'm going to replicate this by making another copy of it like so, putting it on the other side, and now zoom into this window. I'm going to make a little shapes you might have seen in front of some shops. And now hold the Alt key and move and drag with the left mouse button and drag it. It's going to make a duplicate copy. Now to repeat this action and make more copies of this shape, we're going to hold Control and hit the D key, and it's going to make all these shapes. Okay, we are going to select all of them and make sure they are all in the same positions as our windows. I think that's looking good. Okay, now we need some shades and shadows for our windows also. These big ones and small ones. Let me select this round one first and make a little bit of depth into it. And now I'm going to cut it with the shape filter tool by holding the Alt key and select this color for it. Now put this shape at the back of the other one. There it's residing, or we are looking at it at an angle. Now select the pen tool and make 2 island bars in it. Now select the 2 strokes that we have made. Go to the stroke panel or the stroke property panel and change their, let me show you. Okay. I'm going to change their tops or their end into round ones. We can do this simply by going to the stroke property panel and clicking on the caps. From the butt caps, we are going to change it to the round caps. I think it looks much better than the butt cap. It can be used in many places, but at this point I just want to use the round cap. Okay, now we are going to use 2 of these lamps to define this big window. So it's not just one big glass, it's 2 windows. Now we're going to align it to the center of it. And now let's make a shape over here to give depth to this window also. We're going to change turn off its stroke and hold the Alt key and duplicate the shape and bring it upwards, because we're going to use it in the other two very smaller windows also. Now you can select all three of them, use the shape builder tool to cut the middle part, and it will look something like this. In fact, we can do the same thing for the lower window and get rid of this redundant part. Okay, as you can see, now we have given some depth to our windows. We are going to use the pen tool again to create some shapes here also. Okay, that's that. Let's give some depth to the window here also. Select the direct selection tool and bring this one point down like so. Now we are going to give it this yellow color. Turn off the stroke also. Bring these stroke colors to the front so they are overlapping it. Okay, so far so good. Now let's select these shapes of ours and give them their appropriate red color that we have selected in the earlier notion, and change the other ones to white. Okay, so now it should look something like this. Let's change the color of the curtains also. I'm going to make a shadow for the chimney. Turn off its stock color. Hold the Alt key to make another shape. This will be the top part of the chimney. It will be a little bit bigger. Okay, that's looking good. Now select the pen tool again, and now we are going to make some more stroke. These are going to be the details of our rooftop. Now select the stroke and increase its width and turn off its fill, and hold the Alt key and drag and repeat the same action that we did previously to repeat the same objects by holding the Control key and hitting the D key on the keyboard, and we are going to make some shapes like these. Now select all of them, adjust them that they are somewhat equally distributed. Of course, you can take some time with it and do it more accurately than me. I just need to show you in the tutorial that how it's done. We are going to cut our shapes at certain places. That would be, so the lines are not just continuous lines, there is more action and drama to it. Okay, what I'm doing is by adding some key points, anchor points into our stroke, and what that will do when it is completed, I will show you that we are going to select all these key points, the new ones that I'm creating, and then with the direct selection tool there, and they will be selected, and with the delete key I'm going to delete them all. Now this is how it happens. Select the direct selection tool and the anchor point that you want to delete, select it and hit the delete key on the keyboard again. Now we're going to go to the second stroke and delete this middle. Okay, so once these shapes are done, you can select them and change their rounding to cube to round cape. I'm going to add a little bit of antenna. Of course, the family needs some entertainment. Or they've been bented over. Change the rounding to round cape from butt cape also. So the family has entertainment now. We are going to make some iron bars inside our windows also. And we are going to duplicate this by holding the Alt key and bring it forward. Hit the Control D to repeat the action. We also need to give this window some shadowing effect. Perfect. Zoom out a little, and we are going to select this shadow. Okay, now since we have done this, it's in front of the other stuff. One thing is that we can use the mouse to place this shape at its appropriate place, or we can use just the control and bracket keys. Okay, I'm using the bracket keys and I just placed it just in the right place. I'm gonna hold the Alt key again and duplicate it and bring it here, adjust its size. Okay, as you can see, it's accurate in this place. I'm going to select the pen tool again. I'm going to make some iron bars inside this window also. Now we are going to give some shadow to this bottom place of the roof where it's touching the walls. And increase its size. We need this depth also. Time to make the doorknob. It's very simple. one strength, and I'm going to shift its stroke alignment to the outside. If you guys don't understand what this is, ask me in the comment section and I will explain it. Okay, now it is looking good. One thing in the final illustration that I had made was this window here, the top of this roof. It was a glass roof, so let's create that again. Okay, I'm going to use the Alt key and going to duplicate it and make the shadow of this shape or window or the roof window. Hold the Alt key and while the selection tool is selected, shape builder tool is selected, and drag, and it will cut that shape. Now place the shape on top of the previous shape, change its color. The window needs support. Two more from the sides. Now we need is the highlights of these windows, and if you've seen any of my previous videos, you know how I make my highlights. I'm going to drag out this shape to the side by holding the Alt key to duplicate it, and going to make some vertical shapes like these. Change the color to white, turn off the stroke color, change the rotation to 45 degrees by holding the shift key. Now select all of them and or select the shape builder tool and hold the Alt key to cut these shapes from it. Now we are going to reduce their opacity to probably something 40. Let's check if it looks good. I think it looks good. Okay, the same thing will be done for this window and this window. You guys can probably do it on yourself. I do not have to repeat this section again and again, but the principle is the same. I'm just going to use another highlighter here. I'm going to make some more stroke. Change the rounding to round cape. Now I'm going to make another type of shadow, and that shadow is going to be placed under these windows. Hold the shift key to make the stroke at 45 degrees. Okay, it's just a stroke color, but we are going to give it black color. Turn off its stroke color, and now we are going to reduce its opacity also. About 20% would be fine. Hold the Alt key and bring it here. Now select the lower anchor points with the direct selection tool and bring them down. And adjust the other anchor points to it. So it seems to be the shadow of this window. Okay, once this is done, now we can select the whole illustration, increase its size a little because it's looking smaller, and bring it down a little also. For the ground, we are going to just use one stroke line. I think that's looking good. Now we need to make some vegetations. Select the ellipse tool. Of course, you can add a lot of variety to these shapes the way you like it. I'm just going for simplicity here. Combine the top shapes like so and bring them down. Reduce their size. Okay, and I'm going to change its color also to this light blue. Okay, this shape is repeated 3 times in my final illustration, so I'm just going to duplicate it, change its size and shape a little, change its orientation. Okay, now we are going to make some trees. This tree shape I have not made previously, but it's also very simple, just like the previous ones. Just need some round shapes. Make sure that your round shapes are touching each other. Okay, once that's done, we are going to combine them with a pen tool. So when we combine all these shapes, there is no empty space left between them. That's why I just created another shape inside them. Select them all and hit this combine or unite command in the Pathfinder panel. If you cannot see the Pathfinder panel, go to Windows and come down here. There is the Pathfinder panel and it will pop up. You do not need to be super accurate or realistic. That's the one thing that you learn when you have experience in graphic design or drawings also, that you just need to reference things. You do not have to make reality exactly like it is, because reality is very hard to replicate. And also turn off its fill, reduce its size a little, maybe 5 points would be better. I hope my pace of making this video is not too slow for you guys. And of course, one thing I did not mention in this video, very new to making audio edits, so if the quality of the voice is not good, so I do apologize for it. Yeah, to send it to the back, right click on it, arrange, send to the back, so it's behind the building. Okay, now in the original or the final illustration, there are 3 trees. Just gonna want to make one. You can make the same ones again. It's going to take some time. Just to save time, I'm not going to do that. Just need to make the cloud. Making the cloud is also as simple as making the shapes, other shapes. Combine these shapes with the shape builder tool. Now delete the lower anchor points, like selecting them with the direct selection tool and hitting the delete key. Now I need to make some stroke lines on their sides like this. Decrease or increase their size. Of course, in the final illustration I had made all of these of different types, but here I'm looking for time savage. Okay, now let's make the background color. And most of the shape is complete. Of course, it's a little bit of different, but the same principles are the same in the original. The cloud variation is different. I just replicated the same one, but you get the point. You can make of any type of any variation of clouds using the same principle. Trees are a little bit more in the final illustration that you guys can adjust also, but overall the shape is like this. So I hope you like this tutorial, and please let me know in the feedback. And of course you can get the sketch now from my website. It's up and running, and I hope you do like the video. If you do, please like it and share it, and if you don't like it, tell me why, and also share the video in any case. Thanks and bye for now.